Okay, here we have the parts needed to build an under cabinet or over cabinet inside cabinet lighting system from Millennia Technologies. You'll see the parts here are a large bars. The large bars come in 5 different lengths: the 8-inch, the 12-inch, the 20-inch, the 24-inch, and it also comes in a 40, which we're not showing right now. They mount by using a clip, a U-shaped clip that snaps on the back. You mount them by using a screw. We use a number 6 panhead screw that's 3/8 of an inch long. Then we have the small bar system, which is typically used for the inside of a cabinet, put in the face frame or the style of the cabinet to light the inside. Typically we put those on the side, but you can also put them in the top. Another thing that you need to remember is that if you do not have enough lighting, you can always double up or triple up on the light, the bars in the top or the bottom or wherever you have the cabinet. Bars positioned inside the cabinets. We build these bars in every 4-inch increments between 8 and 40. That would be 8, 12, 16 inches, 20 inches, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40 inches long. We have a power supply. The power supplies, we have different models. They come in 24 volt. We have them in 1 amp, 2 amp, an amp and a half, 2.5 amps, 4 amp. The 1 amp would be a 24 volt. The 1 amp would be a 24 watt power supply. The 1.5 amp would be a 36 watt power supply. 2 would be 48. 2.5 amp would be 6 watts. And then we have it in a 4 amp, which would be 96 watts. Those power supplies will drive about 85% of that power. So if you multiply 96 watts times 0.85, you come up with somewhere around in the high 80s of the number of watts that'll drive. When we look back at the bars, the large bars use about 1 watt for every 4 inches of length. So knowing that, the large 20-inch bar divided by 4 would give you 5, which would be 5 watts, is what it takes to power that bar. The 40 inches bar would take 10 watts. 6 watts for the 24-inch, 3 watts for the 12-inch, and 2 watts for the 8-inch bar. The small bars have more LEDs in them per inch, so we would need to have a 1 watt for every 3 inches. So when you determine the length and number of bars, you add up all those wattages and then buy the corresponding power supply to integrate with that system. Moving on with the parts, we have a dimmer. We have transverters. A transverter is also known as a splitter. The splitter, we have them in 3 models. They go from a 1 to 2, 1 to 4, and 1 to 3 different directions. This part here is a power supply to LED bar, or PS to LED bar. This part right here comes out of the end of a bar, and that is a bar to power supply. This is a special part that goes from bar to bar back to a system plug to drive back into the system. This part here is an extension cord. This part here is a bar to a bar, a large bar to a large bar, and that's if you need to go around a corner or go in different directions with your bars.